Hashtag BB19 live feeds. Charlie, I'm back from my camping trip. Got lots of bug bites on my legs, but it's all good. And it was an eventful weekend for Big Brother as well.
Oh yeah, you gotta love bug bites. I mean, that's kind of what's happening in the house. Everyone's getting bug bites. No shit. But yeah, this weekend of feeds has been nuts. I have been having trouble taking my eyes off of it. So,
I mean, you said last night you were like, yeah, honestly, been trying to watch Raw, but kind of distracting with all the stuff going on in the house yesterday, and really the past 2 days before that as well. We've had a lot of excitement. Hello, Brianna. Hello, Veracity. Hello, Jasmine. Hello, Julie. Anyway, so let's start it back at the beginning. So this all real. There's a lot of bullying talk, but really it all started with Josh versus Mark, which we saw a little bit of last week with the hot sauce in the eyes, and Josh is a child. And Mark is as well a little bit. Mark is emotional, but Josh is just a straight up 5-year-old. So anyway, so right the day of the last eviction, obviously Mark and Elena were blindsided, as well as Cody, and Ramsey's got sent home, right? So by the way, spoiler episode, click off if you if you don't want
live feed update,
which you guys know by the title by now anyway. So Ramsey's got sent home, but Josh had been tormenting Mark all day, clinging pots and pans together, doing his standard everyone on Twitter, it's like, oh God, when the pans and the singing starts, Josh is just
he completely destroyed one of the pans too.
Let's be real, he's an asshole.
I mean,
there's no way around it. If Big Brother ends up painting him and Paul in a good light after what's happened over the past couple days, I will be shocked. But
the thing I'd take it back to is if they didn't paint Frank last year in a good light and he was considered their golden boy, I don't think they're gonna paint these guys in a good light. But you never know.
That's true. So anyway, he was tormenting Mark all day with the pots and pans. Mark kept his cool the whole day, thinking that Josh was going to be going home. And then it really started to peeve Mark when Josh stayed, because he'd probably going through the whole day. You know what? Whatever, Josh, be as annoying as you want.
Counting down the hours.
Your ass is going out the door. And then it didn't happen. And so Mark was trying to do what Cody's been doing. Just don't say anything. Just keep to himself. This led to a lot of dissension between Mark and Elena and Cody and Jessica. And we had kind of unofficial BB breakups over the weekend of the two. So Paul got to Elena and basically convinced her that she needs to separate herself from Mark, because Paul pretty much told her, hey, our plan is to vote out Cody and then Jessica and then Mark in that order. And if you don't come to our side within the next couple of weeks, you'll just be next on the pecking order. And so Elena kind of got scared into separating from Mark, and that made Mark sad and also angry at the other side of the house.
Dude's had a rough week.
And then on the other hand, you have Jessica trying to mend some bridges between other people other than Cody, whereas Cody is still separating himself from the rest of the house, which understandable, seeing what's been going on. But Jessica is trying her best to mingle with other house guests, or at least she was a couple days ago. And Cody didn't really like that. And Cody got it in his head that the one person that he thought he could trust, which was Jessica, that he can't trust her anymore. And so Elena kind of called off one showmance and Cody called off the other. Elena and Mark still, like, they talk to each other, but they're not like as lovey-dovey as they were. Cody and Jessica have mended things between them and have isolated themselves from the house. So before I continue on, we'll talk a little bit about Chad. Anything you've seen that's interesting?
Let me see. Pots and pans driving people crazy. It's really annoying because he's not. The thing when Josh does it, it's not like when Evil Dick does it. Josh does it because Paul's telling him to. You know what I mean? He's not being intimidating. No one's intimidated by him. They're laughing at him. When Josh realizes that everyone's laughing at him and not laughing with him, he's going to be crushed. And you know what? Good for him.
Exactly. And what's funny is that Josh has this in his head that he should torment Mark and Jessica and Cody because of all the terrible things they've done in the house. What has Cody really done to these people?
That hasn't happened in week 1. I mean,
like,
my God,
4 weeks. Like,
yeah.
Man, like, yeah, whatever. He did a rogue move 4 weeks ago. Jasmine says, all I can say is she wanted a sign from God and got one, but didn't even hear it. As far as Raven.
Or no, I think she's talking about Jessica.
Just Jessica. Oh, yeah, you're
when
right.
everything was going down. We'll get to it. We're just kind of going in order here. So
right, yeah. Don't worry. I'll continue. I'm just trying to go in chronologically. So we had the stuff. We had the stuff on Eviction Day, right? And then the day after, the bombshell got dropped that we had this Den of Temptation competition, as we saw on Sunday's episode. Mark ends up winning that competition, which sends Paul kind of into a frenzy. Basically, we come to find out over the past couple of days, Paul really does have like mind control over like everyone in the house. It's really cool.
Yeah, he's got these.
Yeah. So Mark wins that competition. Paul gets pissed off and decides that him and the rest of his side of the house should torment the 3 of Mark, Cody, and Jessica, which has been going on over the past probably 2-3 days. So Josh continues to torment Mark, and Mark gets fed up with the pans. And Mark's just sitting at the table trying to like eat a snack or something.
He's literally, the nomination ceremony just happened, and he's still sitting at the table from it. That's where this is. Yeah,
he's just kind of hanging out, just kind of talking about stuff. And one thing that's interesting, Paul wants everyone to do his dirty work for him. So Paul during the nomination ceremony, when he put up Cody and Jessica, he didn't want to badmouth Cody at all. So he had Jason do it instead.
Yeah, that was the veto.
Or the veto. Sorry, veto. So like that's one instance. But then this other thing, Paul, anytime he wants to get under Cody's skin, he's like, Josh, go do it. He's like, okay. Yep. Josh pulls out the pans, does shit to Cody and Jessica and Mark, and he brings out the pans. Mark's like, Josh, don't start again. Don't rub it in, because Mark knows his alliance is screwed at this point for this week, even though he doesn't really know about the hex. So Josh pulls out the pots and pans. Mark's like, I swear to God, Josh, don't pull out the pots and pans, please. And he's trying to be nice. And it's been going on for like 2 straight days at that point.
Mm-hmm.
And Josh pulls out the pots and pans, and Mark just sprints over and grabs the pans out. One thing that I thought was messed up was the screenshot that people had taken, because, okay, let's say that I'm Mark, right? So the screenshot that everyone sees on Twitter is Mark grabs the pots and pans and pulls them away. And the screenshot looks like Mark is about to deck the kid in the face with a frying pan, which was not the case at all. Mark never, attacked Josh. He grabbed the pan out of his hand, and it just happened that it looked like he was going to swing it at him, which was not the case.
And it's funny, too, because it shows Josh looking like this. Ah!
Yeah, because Josh was the aggressor, and Mark takes the pan away, and if all you see is the screenshot, you think Mark grabbed a frying pan off the counter and went at Josh and was trying to clock him over the head. So,
but then Josh retells the story. Yeah, man, I had him so upset. I didn't even flinch.
I mean, let's be real. Right now, yes and no in the chat. Would Josh have had it coming to him if Mark had clocked him over the head with the frying pan?
Just a straight brain clock. Good morning.
Yeah, Brianna, we'll get to that. So anyway, that was the big thing that happened. Mark was fed up with it, and Cody and Jess kind of tell him to just lay low, like what they're doing.
Yeah.
Jess and Cody and Mark now know that they're safe no matter what. So, it's not that big a deal.
Getting lots of yeses in the chat. Most Veracity, Minion, Jasmine, Dylan, Brianna, Julie, Abby, they all say yes.
So I mean, the feeds are definitely interesting. So
at this point, at this point, we're at Friday night. This is all Friday night. this is when it starts escalating, right?
Yeah. So Saturday, the next big thing to happen, I guess, Paul starts putting in this plan to torment them even more, and Jessica and Cody are both contemplating self-evicting from the house because they just can't take the bullying anymore. Whereas Paul and Jason and everything, they keep saying, oh, well, they deserve it. We're just dishing it back to them. They can't take it, which is not the case at all. This is way worse than anything Cody, Jessica, or Mark have ever done in the house. And I don't think
especially to other people. That's Cody said some stuff that a lot of people don't like, which is, it is what it is. I don't agree with Cody and some of the shit he said, but Cody hasn't gone out of his way. But, like, for example, so over the weekend, Paul put this plan in place. He wanted to kind of split them apart and have Jessica not use the hex and they evict Cody, right? That was kind of the plan put in place over the weekend, and they tried to do it.
Right, and that's what originally came forth was Cody was thinking about self-evicting, and he told Jessica, don't use the hex, just let me go home.
Yeah.
I think the other side of the house caught wind of that, and they said, oh, yeah, so we need to plant these seeds so that Jessica doesn't use it. That way we can just send Cody home. Whatever, Jessica's safe next week. Doesn't really matter.
We got people saying they can't see us. A lot of times what happens is if it goes black, it'll on the playback you'll see us, but right now it's just going to be a black screen probably. It does that sometimes. If you want to refresh
that's so weird. Yeah, just go to the just click on YouTube up in the left if you're on desktop, whatever. Just go back to our page and then re-click on the video, see if it helps.
It's just a Google Hangouts glitch when it's live sometimes. It'll do this.
Yeah.
But yeah, so the weekend it was quiet, but they put these plans in place to,
It was a lot of Paul, Matt, Raven, Jason, and Alex and Josh sitting up in the HOH room scheming to torment these people. Because once they found out that Cody was thinking about either self-evicting or just telling Jessica to not use the hex, they wanted to escalate it and to make Jessica hate Cody like enough to be like, yeah, you know what? Screw you. You can go home. So they were trying to get Elena pissed off at Mark, which worked, and get Jessica pissed off at Cody, which did not work. So they were kind of half successful in their attempts. So Elena, I don't know. You see it a lot of times with Big Brothers, like with this situation. Elena, even if she flips over to the other side of the house, she's gonna be the bottom of the totem pole on their alliance. So she might as well just ride or die with the alliance she has. What do you left?
Yeah. Julie says Raven with her 47 diseases was able to come up with a plan.
No, she didn't come up with a plan at all. Raven comes up with nothing. All right, so was there anything else on Saturday? Sunday was a big day.
No, more or less what happened is nothing. They were trying to be passive until the point of Monday during the veto ceremony. That's when everything freaked out. But over the weekend, I think we hit all the points. It was just those main points of the couples kind of, Mark and Elena officially kind of snapped off. But they were all kind of quiet, just playing like petty pranks until Monday. The Vaseline pranks that they do. So this all leads up to Monday for the veto ceremony. Because at this point, they're still trying to get Jess to not use the hex, right? And then Monday, they have the ceremony. Jess asked Paul, please don't attack Cody in your speech. Just trying to be nice, right?
Right.
And Paul has Jason do it instead. What does Jason do? He listens to his master.
Because Jason is the third nominee, so he's allowed to speak.
Yes. So in Jason's speech, we don't know the speech because they don't show these on the feeds. But Jason then supposedly says, oh, Jess, you're such a nice person, and then just goes in and calls Cody like a scumbag and how he's a shit dude. And Paul uses the veto on Jason. And obviously this pisses Jess off because Cody is her boyfriend, right? It's gonna get her upset. And she knew right away that Paul told Jason to do that. So, and then, yeah.
It's so anyway, now Jessica and Cody are like, you know what, like, whatever, screw it. Let's just self-evict, which last night, I'm not sure what was said in the diary room, but between Cody and Jessica, they were in there for like a solid hour. And Cody came sprinting out of the DR after his session, ran to the room where Jessica was and said, "Get in there, go talk to them." Jessica's like, "Why?" He's like, "Because they have people on standby that need to talk to you." So
yeah, probably talking about a self-evicting. They don't want that to happen.
Yeah.
So
Jasmine says, "Raven barking, woof woof, woof woof, Alex, you're a poodle." So that's kind of the next major thing to happen. So pretty much there was a point yesterday, Monday that is, where Cody and Jessica could kind of tell that they were like being stalked almost by the rest of the house. Paul put into this plan, we're not going to be the aggressive ones. Paul seems to have this idea that as long as they don't start the argument, it's not bullying. So like
that's very true. And he's always like, "I'll jump in."
Yeah, exactly. So he told Josh at first, "You start it, and then I'll jump in and defend you." And then that didn't work. So he's like, "Jason, you start it, and then I'll jump in." And then he's like, "Alex, you start it, and then I'll jump in." Well, the person that eventually started it was Raven, of all people. So Jessica and Cody are just like hanging out in the bathroom area or the little side room. I don't know what they're calling it today, next to the bathroom. But they just been like hanging out, keeping themselves, ignoring all the stuff. Josh has been trying to torment them.
Yeah, Josh is trying. He's trying. Once they, real quick. So after the ceremony, why this Raven stuff started, there's a lot of misconceptions on why it started. Raven was talking with Kevin and someone else, right? And as soon as Jessica walked in the room, it went quiet. Jessica walks right out. She does not care. This freaks Raven out. This is what gets Raven all upset. Raven then traps her and Cody in that apple room. And she's like, I promise I wasn't talking about you. I don't know why the accent just came out.
He gets paranoid.
Yeah, and then she leaves the room, and Paul tells her, "You got to start fake crying. We got to pin this on Cody. We got to pin this on Cody."
So, yeah, Paul tells Raven, start fake crying. That way you get sympathy from everybody else. Because let's be real, that's all Raven does is try to get sympathy. She makes a bunch of fake noises.
And Cody was just being nice to her. Raven or Jessica was the one that was kind of like grilling her a little bit in there.
Yeah.
Like, "I don't want a hug." And Raven's like, "I wasn't talking about you. I promise."
Yep. And so Raven then comes back out of the room, starts pretending to cry, and says that since she was abused as a child, and Cody's abrasiveness towards her triggered her abusive thoughts, and now all of a sudden the entire house is back on their side, because people were starting to feel bad for Cody and Jess a little bit because they're just getting tormented. People like Christmas got in a huge argument with Matt and Raven up in the HOH room earlier because Christmas is like, "I think we're going a little too far with this." And Matt's like, "Nah, they deserve it. They deserve it." And Chris was like, "Well, maybe we should let up a little bit." And then she felt that Matt was talking down to her because Matt was like, "Oh, nonsense. You know, you don't know what you're talking about." And Chris was like, "No, I do know what I'm talking about." So Christmas got a little fed up with them. Raven had to calm both of them down. But then in this case, Raven does what she's told by Paul. And it's funny because Cody earlier in the day during a private conversation with Jessica, not even said out loud, said that Paul treats everyone in the house like a bunch of dogs.
Yeah, and also, yeah, he said that to Paul's face after Friday, which they'll show on tomorrow's episode.
So, so pretty funny stuff. So anyway, Raven starts fake crying. The house starts going into a frenzy. Once again, Cody and Jessica are trying to stay out of it, but then the next time Jessica and Cody come into the kitchen, Raven starts freaking out. So Jessica is like, "Yo, we're sick of your BS. We know you're faking because Cody was nice to you when you came in the room. Cody did nothing to you." Whereas the rest of the house, they don't know. They assume that Cody was just an asshole to Raven.
Yeah, they're trying to play it up to that, and they're trying so hard to get to Cody. They're trying, but he's just sitting there, just.
So I mean, I think I think she's a sweet girl, and I think she was caught in a moral dilemma. She realized that there are a lot of people in there. Jason, Raven, Matt, Christmas, Kevin, those 5 in particular, they know that what the rest of the house guests are doing is wrong, and they feel bad about it, but they feel like they have to go along with this bullying scheme, which sucks. So Especially Kevin. Yeah. I can tell Kevin genuinely cares about Jessica.
Yeah, when I think of Kevin, I think of him only as a minion in gameplay, whereas he will do anything Paul wants right now, but he's not going to join in with the bullying because that's not his thing. He's not going to do that.
Oh yeah, that's right. So Melissa makes a good point. She said Matt was upset that everyone is trying to push Cody to violence. Yeah, so this whole bullying, like tormenting thing was originally to get Jessica to not use the hex, as we said earlier. But what it turned into was Paul thought, well, if we're able to break Cody to the point where he self-evicts or resorts to violence, Paul, like that's the thing. This is why Paul is a scumbag, is because he was fine with asking Josh to push Cody so hard that Cody literally fights Josh and beats Josh up. Paul is willing, if these are Paul's guys, he would not want to put them at risk of getting hurt. So Matt was like, maybe we're going a little too far here because I don't want to see anyone get hurt. I'm fine with Cody going into the diary room and being like, I want to go home. But to push him to the point where Cody snaps and beats up Josh or beats up Jason or something like that.
This is a sniper who has been at war, and Matt has said that. He's like, this is a guy who's been at war.
This is a guy who has literally killed other human beings, and we're trying to snap him.
And he's like, are you going to feel bad if Josh is laying on the ground in a pool of blood?
Oh, dude. New York says Raven is a whore. She slept with Paul. Did she?
That's a rumor that before. Actually, who started that was Zakia. And, well, not unintentionally. Right. Unintentionally, she started it.
They met before, right? That's right.
She was like Paul's friend, and then people like started getting like hints from her thing that, oh, shit, maybe they did bone.
Maybe. Who knows? Who knows? But, I mean, that's all speculation.
Yeah.
Another thing that house guests are incorrectly speculating on in the house, which sent Twitter, this is really what flipped it. People were like, oh, the bullying, like, whatever. People were like, oh, it's bullying, it's not bullying, whatever, it's good TV, Evil Dick did it. There were some people that were still on that side of Paul's side of the house during all of this. Then what really flipped it is Jason, Alex, and I think it was Matt maybe in the room.
At Christmas. Christmas was the one. Right.
Jason, Alex, and Christmas were sitting in one of the bedrooms together, and they concluded that since Cody hadn't snapped yet through all this tormenting, he must not actually be a Marine because any real soldier would have snapped by this point and punched somebody.
Because he has his dog tags taped, which he has it taped because his social security number's on there. I don't think he wants everyone seeing that.
And they said that he's wearing his Marine Corps pants around the house. You're allowed to wear them around the house. There's literally nothing wrong with it. So
it's sweatpants. It's literally fucking sweatpants.
Like, it's so dumb. So, like, okay, so that was their reasoning behind it. And then they went on to say, well, we think that he's not really a Marine. And if he is a Marine, then the way that he's acted in this house is a disgrace to Marines everywhere. And Twitter blew up at that.
Yeah. Yeah. This is I'm trying to give people like an idea of where we're at. So this is all, we're bouncing, but this is all, it's preluding to them trying to call them out, right? Yeah. And we're just trying to get in all the info. We keep, we're going it by ear. Playing it by ear, I guess you'd say. And yeah, they're getting this idea that, oh yeah, he's not a real Marine.
Yeah, see, Manuel, he has self-discipline. He's been through worse stuff than this in the outside. But that doesn't mean that these house guests have a right to do this. And this is no reason why CBS hasn't – there's no good reason why CBS hasn't stepped in, because I know it makes good TV. But at some point, you have to stop it. And if you have one whole side of the house calling out an entire branch of the military, which we all know there are a lot of patriotic people out there that watch Big Brother, that is a huge, huge PR bust for them. And then we had a bombshell. We had, not all heroes wear capes. The hero of yesterday was some random dude that came on the other side of the wall with a megahorn.
Yeah. So, real quick, just Raven, after she attacked Jessica, that is when the backyard opened, right? So now, at this point, Cody and Jessica then just go and walk on the hammock. And it wasn't only Raven attacking her, it was also Alex. Alex was like, "Oh, you were trying to put me on the block," which is all a fake plan made by Paul again to get Jessica to use the.
Once again, Paul hasn't really said anything. He's letting
Yeah.
letting his dogs bark, which he actually said. So Raven and Jessica are screaming at each other from back and forth across the house. Cody drags Jessica out all the way to the hammock, and it's like, don't say anything. Raven's screaming. Josh is screaming, and then you hear Paul scream over the top, "Yeah, Cody, all my dogs are barking now." And then Raven literally starts barking.
Brianna says, "Who hit my ears?" Alex's favorite line. Yeah, that while Raven was attacking, Alex was also trying to get some words in. Like, they were taking turns, and she was like, "Oh, who really hit my ears?" Which Elena gave us proof on the live feeds. It was Raven that hit her ears. Side note. And it wasn't even Jessica, which is kind of funny. And I hope they show that on the show. Maybe Elena was lying, but the conversation was, she talked to Raven. She was like, "You hit the ears, right?" She's like, "Yeah." And that's all we have. When did Alex and Mark get into it? So this is after they first went to the hammock. Raven is still screaming in the room. Everyone is still inside while Cody and Jess are outside. Raven's still screaming in the room. Alex turns to Mark because she's so like pumped up, and she's like, I don't remember the exact words, but it was something along the lines of, like, "I kept you safe, but you don't talk to me anymore." She was just attacking Mark because
it's so weird. Honestly, because this is like I've never seen Game of Thrones, but I feel like this is how it is. Like, Paul is some sort of leader, and like Cody's the leader of like the smaller group, right? So like they literally were planning on this whole bullying scheme. They were planning on this for a whole day, like a solid 24 hours. They were planning on doing this. And so when you plan something out for that long, because they've been going on for what, like a whole day, right? They'd had this master plan going in. All of a sudden, all of these minions of Paul, they feel like they have to prove their allegiance to Paul by verbally attacking everyone that Paul wants them to. So it's like, oh shit, I should get my verbal jabs in, or else Paul's going to think that I'm some kind of non-loyal person.
They're going to think I'm Mark.
Yeah, God, exactly.
They don't want to be Mark because, Mark stands up for Cody or doesn't say anything.
So anyway, it's going to be good TV, but Jessica and Cody, no matter what they did week one, like Cody, I mean, and in all honesty, what has Jessica really done except just defend herself?
Yeah. So this in the backyard, it's going on. This is when they start actually yelling the military stuff.
Hold on. Paul will not confront Cody to his face because
Paul is
letting everyone else do it for him. And Paul, in his head, he thinks that he's the savior of America at this point. He thinks that everyone loves him and everyone hates Cody and Jessica and Mark, and that him being this guy that runs the whole house, he thinks that he's this beloved Dr. Will character.
Yeah. Yeah. Also, during that fight, I saw someone saying it. Raven, excuse my language, did call Jessica a cunt.
Yeah,
and
she did.
If Paul called that to Michelle last year, I am positive they will show Raven calling it to Jessica. And that was when she was outside, by the way. The door was closed, and she was screaming just Brown says Paul never bucks up to a man. We kind of saw that last year. He was scared of Paulie. He tried getting in Paulie's face, but he'd always stay to the side.
Yep, exactly. Raven can't help it. She has two hearts, Yeah, God.
But
we have a visitor in the Big Brother house. Well, that outside the wall, right?
Yeah, this is after it's all kind of gone down a little bit. After they tried to publicly call out the Cody with the Marines, and one of the last things they said was Cody was like, "And you don't want that. They don't know what they're getting in with that." Well, while everyone's attacking Cody and Jessica, they're just sitting there laughing at each other, having a conversation, completely unbothered, which is in turn pissing them off even more because they're not getting the reaction they want.
It happened earlier in the day because Josh was trying to torment them, and Jessica, they're sitting. So if you guys can imagine that hard camera that's next to the stove, that's like above the stove in the kitchen, it looks straight through to the bathroom area where Cody and Jessica are sitting on that little wraparound couch in there.
Yeah.
And they're just sitting in there talking or whatever, and Josh is just screaming, trying to cause a scene, and Jessica's like, you want to make out? And Cody's like, that would be hilarious. And so Jessica just climbs on top of Cody and starts making out with him. So like she's blocking everything, and like Josh is trying to torment them, and he just looks over and they're just making out. It's great.
That was pretty good. But yes, now a lot of people are asking. So we get to the point where they're outside on the hammock, and there is a man who goes on his bullhorn. I believe that's what it's called, right?
Mm-hmm.
And what the words were: "America loves Jess. Paul is a bully," and they said it on the bullhorn.
And all that they could hear, all that people could hear out, they couldn't make out Paul. Apparently, the house guest heard "America loves Jess" and then something bully, but Paul knew instantly that it was him.
Yep. And upstairs they're speculating because Alex was outside. She was like, "Oh, I heard America's favorite bully." And as soon as she said that, Paul was crushed. His ego was done because he's thinking, "Oh yeah, I'm the good guy still." I'm because last year everyone, when they just like Neto, when he got out of the house, everyone was telling him, "Oh, you should have won. You should have won. You should have won."
Yep.
So he gets this ego.
He thought that no matter what he did, America would love him.
Yeah. So yeah, the bullhorn.
Paul was crushed. Charlie, talk to Chad. I'm gonna find the exact Paul quotes.
All right, guys. Yeah, if you have any questions that we didn't get to, because we were just trying to get through exactly all what happened. We might have missed some stuff, and we were bouncing, but it's what happens. You forget stuff, you remember it, and everything else. Let's see. They're all conspiring in there, and someone knocks. I hope it was Jess, but don't know for sure. Oh, they're talking about someone knocking in the storage room. Let's see. Jasmine asks, "Can't believe they didn't stop Paul from putting Vaseline on stuff. He tried getting Cody with the coffee, and Cody got a new one." Yeah, he put Vaseline on his coffee scoop, and it got in the coffee grind, so he had to throw it away. Like, what the hell?
Yeah.
And they're also switching out the caffeine, the decaf and the caffeine. Also, production kind of told Paul and Josh to stop. Which, I mean, that's how bad it was. When two people are contemplating self-evicting, and going after the Marine stuff, that's a low. Like, I mean, I don't know how you could attack that. To be honest, Evil Dick, he was talking about it because a big part of Evil Dick's game was he would antagonize a house guest for strategy, and he had a purpose for it. Jen would dump his cigarettes and dump shit on him. I don't think Cody is dumping stuff on Paul's leather jacket unless we're missing something. But yeah, do you think Raven will lose America's sympathy? Oh, yeah, she already has. She's bottom of every fan poll.
Yep. Okay, here we go. So as soon as the news came up, one of the first things Paul said. So we have a lot of Paul quotes. He said, "We poked and prodded enough today. I think we got our point across." So he realizes maybe he took it too far. Then he says, "If I'm portrayed as a bully because they're victimizing themselves under my HOH and they are America's sweetheart, it's upsetting."
Which they are at the top of all fan polls now.
Hopefully CBS does the right thing and paints Paul as a villain. Then he says, "I'm trying to protect the people who I genuinely feel for. I do not genuinely feel for a bully," which Cody is.
How is Cody a bully? I don't get that.
Yep.
What the fuck did Cody do?
And then Paul says, "It's frustrating. I'm not trying to put people down. I'm giving them a taste of their own medicine."
Yeah. He always says, "Oh, he made Megan cry. He made Raven cry." You fucking told Raven to cry. Come on. And that triggered her sexual abused past. Like, dude, that's a low.
They're literally just like taking all the low balls. And I'm sorry, like, it's not a race thing, but the bullying of Cody and Jessica was on par with Candace and Howard.
Yeah, those guys are fucking
infamous season. So,
yeah, unconscious. We fixed the Matt and Christmas story. He's on delay. Yeah. Oh, well, your HOH went to shit. Absolutely. This is all because Paul didn't get his way. The bottom line is this. Paul didn't get his way with Jessica not using the hex. So he gathered up his 6 lapdogs and said, "We got to make hell." The really part I really didn't like, other than the Marine stuff, which is, Alex turning to Mark, and then Mark is just sitting there, and then exploding on him for nothing. Like, that was like, come on. Mark has had such a rough week. And everyone's like, oh, Mark started. He threw the stuff in Josh's face. Literally the minute after he did that, he apologized. And Josh went and got the other stuff and threw it on him. He didn't care. He said, all right, that's fair. It's even game. Mark apologized. And then he said he genuinely felt bad. But Josh then keeps going and keeps going.
Something that's interesting. So 9 hours ago, so like early this morning for us. Mark decided to sit down and try to talk to Josh and Paul. So Mark said, regardless of how wrong the guy is, it hurts me when I saw what I saw today in the backyard. And Paul says, I would say my one flaw is I try to correct bullying by being a bigger bully. And Josh says, me too. And Paul says, don't think that's the solution. So maybe Paul's starting to get it. And then Paul says, maybe if he gets a taste of his own medicine, he will think twice. And then Mark said, but what happened today is not going to prove that. And Paul said, I don't understand where I'm supposed to be sympathetic to Cody when he has no sympathy for his actions. So Paul is trying. He has like a couple quotes where he shows some remorse, but at the same time, you can tell he's really just kind of a dick. A
lot of people say, oh, how can you not like Paul now if you liked him last year? This is not the same guy. If you don't see that he doesn't have this ego and he's just such a weenie now, I don't know what to tell you.
Okay, here we go. Here's a good one. And there is some language in this one. Paul said, if this is portrayed as 8 people ganging up on 2 people, that is fucking horse shit. And Josh said, I think it is. And Matt said, if it is, it is. Matt knows.
It absolutely is. And that's why I think Matt was kind of sticking up for him. And then
Matt, and then, sorry to cut you off, but then Mark left the room and Matt said, why is Mark going to bat for this kid? Ridiculous. And Paul says, he's saying this to cover the fact that he wasn't saying anything. So once again, they're basically saying since Mark didn't say anything, he's against them. So that explains why Alex is so willing to chime in and stuff. And then Paul says, if me standing up for the people I care for dictates me as a bully, then so fucking be it. Yeah. You are not standing up for anyone. He's trying to paint himself in this light that is not true. So, yeah, Jasmine says it perfectly. Cameras don't lie.
April says live feeds were difficult to watch. They were, but for some reason I couldn't stop. I don't know if that's a good thing. I don't know if that questions my sanity, but I couldn't stop. It was definitely crazy, to say the least. Yeah, if you guys have any more questions, just go ahead. I wanted to ask something. I forgot what it was, though. Drive me nuts. What the hell?
Yeah, so Big Brother update. Jessica and Cody have officially risen to 2nd and 3rd on the favorite house guest. And actually, Jessica is number 1 now, right? And
yeah, on Jokers, which is usually a pretty big one. She's number 1.
Evan is 2 on there. Yep.
I will say one thing. I do hope that we have a power change come Thursday and this Hex matters. I would love to see Mark, Jess, or Cody win HOH. Mark upstairs was telling them, "Oh yeah, I'm putting up Jess and Cody 100%." That's just to cover his own ass. Yeah. So,
dude, this is like the fact. I'm just reading through quotes right now. Big Brother updates at @BB_updates. Really good Twitter. You guys should all follow it. But the fact that they're all trying to convince themselves and when I say they, I mean Paul, Josh, Alex, Matt, Raven, they're trying to just talk themselves into the fact that what they did wasn't wrong. And so Josh said they're going to sit there and take it to make it look like we're all attacking them. And Christmas says, I say we be nice. So, and then Paul to Christmas, Josh, Matt, and Raven, let's kill them with kindness. I think that will drive them far more nuts. It's Paul trying to save face because he realizes now that America hates them because not all heroes wear capes. Some of them wear bullhorns.
Yeah.
And it's like they now realize like CBS would have to try a lot harder to paint that group of 8 in a positive life, in a positive light than to paint Jessica and Cody.
It's definitely something crazy though.
Jess and Cody have been so good though. I've gotten so much. I've gained so much respect for them over the past couple days because we thought, or at least I thought, that if anything, Jessica was going to have to just be the voice of reason and Cody was eventually going to snap. But Cody has maintained his cool, and so has Jessica, and they've learned to laugh about it, and they've just been sitting. They've been
sitting unbothered.
They've been sitting there. I think they've been bothered, but they've been able to rise above it, and it's great. Now, the sad thing is when one of them goes, if Cody goes and the bullying were to continue towards Jessica, I think Jessica would self-evict that week. I think when one of them goes, the other is going to self-evict, sadly, because that's how this season has gone. And then CBS will probably paint it because they don't like when people self-evict. They're not going to paint them in a favorable light. So whoever self-evicts after the other person goes, it's
now that shit's done, it's definitely going to be. They're fine. They're sitting there. They're good. They want to win HOH.
Yeah.
That would be, oh man, that would be good. That'd be good stuff right there.
Mark, I think, has been playing soft on HOH comps for now. That's what thing. I saw a conversation yesterday between Mark and Kevin was putting them like on the same playing field as far as athletic ability. And I thought that was really funny because Kevin was talking about how like athletic some of his kids are and stuff. And he was like, yeah, they do way better than me and you in here. And Mark is kind of giving him a look like, bruh, have you seen me? I'm athletic. What are you talking about?
Look at Mark.
You can do the Charlie. Can you give us a good Mark face? Nah, dude, it's the.
Oh yeah, that one. There you go. Let's click on it. Yeah. He always just looks so stoned too.
He just sits around. So funny.
Yeah. Oh, we didn't really say this. A lot of this is because, there you go, guys. Now you're not confirmed to make jury. They are all, dude, Paul's Alliance is so worried about jury.
I know. That's the thing. These people literally, their goal is to make it to jury so they can vote for Paul to win. That's that's the sole purpose of all of these people. If Paul makes it to jury, he's going to win the whole game. So it's really, really dumb because yesterday Christmas already said, she's like, well, don't worry, guys. If Cody makes it to jury, I'll make sure that he's tormented in the house. What is the point of tormenting someone when they're in jury already? Your game is over. Both of your games are over. If they go to the jury house and continue to torment people, that shows what kind of people they really are.
Christmas was literally like, let me in that house with Cody.
Yeah. Christmas is willing to just get evicted. That way she can torment Cody. And
I like this question. Flamer asks, Flamer, by the way, greatest comment on the history of our channel. It's every day, bro, with the victim noise flow. Appreciate that. He says, can Cody or Jess still win the game? I would say never say never.
Jessica can win the game.
Dude, honestly, if one of all it takes is them win HOH, Mark win HOH back-to-back or something like that, they don't get screwed over in the double. Hey, man. I mean,
a big alliance eventually has to split. So here's honestly what I see happening in the future. This is realistic, and this is for anyone, especially you guys that like Jessica. I like Jessica. So what will happen probably, the hex will be used this week. Cody, Jessica, and Mark will be safe. One of that big person alliance, let's say they win because they have the numbers. One of them win. They put Cody and Jessica up on the block. Cody ends up being the one to go home. Probably Mark plays in that competition, and if he comes in last, he'll be on the block, whatever. Chances are Cody will go home next week. The week after that, who's a bigger target, Jessica or Mark? Mark is. So Cody will go, and then Mark will go. And when Jessica is left on her own, those people that I listed, Kevin, Jason, maybe Matt, considering what Raven does, but definitely Kevin, Jason, Alex, probably those are people that will probably scoop up Jessica. And when they have to split that alliance down the middle, I'd say probably Matt and Raven and Josh will definitely go with Paul. They will go with Paul all the way to the end. But everybody else on the other side of the house, if they smarten up and pick Jessica up, she could become the new leader. And we could get a Jessica and Paul final two, with Jessica beating Paul and Paul coming in second again.
Wouldn't that be something? It'd be hard to see these people vote against Paul, but that'd be cool. Something I also saw was if any of these three that we've kind of named, Jody and Mark, win HOH, if they put up Alex and Paul, it might break that alliance in itself, because it is split there, man.
I think they're probably going to put up Josh and Paul, if I had to guess.
Because Jason, Kevin, and Josh, well, fuck, I don't know what Josh, but Jason and Kevin are not going to vote out Alex. You know, it's going to split that alliance if they put those two up.
So, Jasmine, they say they're going for Jess first, but you have to realize that Big Brother is always on a week-to-week basis. And when you really sit down and think about who is a bigger threat, they're going to determine Mark is a bigger threat because he at least still has other connections. Jessica will be alone. You see it all the time in Big Brother. If a big alliance happens, whoever the last person voted, like the last person left of the other side of the house, they usually go pretty far, because unless they're like the easy target in a double eviction night, they usually stay because they're not a threat to anyone, and everybody already knows no one will vote for them in the final two because they don't have any friends. So
yeah.
Do you think Cody will try to protect Alex still?
Hell no.
No, not after Alex
after him.
Blew up at Jessica.
And that's the one went after him one-on-one too, and tried to call him out in front of the house, and he's left the room.
Yeah, it's just weird. And another thing is, if they really wanted to break Cody, they would have just gone after Jessica. They shouldn't have even gone after Cody, because Cody's a good man. He really is. If they would have gone after Jessica, then it would have been better. Well, just so you guys know, everyone's asleep still on the feeds, so.
Yeah. They're too tired from screaming at each other outside.
Has Elena spoken to Jess or Cody?
Yeah, she did last night. I saw some feed updates. She did, but she was just kind of like, I got your back. I didn't want to step in and take the heat with you, kind of deal. Elena, she's playing both sides. She won't win.
Chris says Jason and Kevin really, really want Raven out. I agree. Jason and Kevin,
those guys have potential, man. I'm telling you, I really think they might be the ones to pull the trigger on Paul somehow. How's Kevin doing? Kevin's minding his own business.
I mean, you think about, okay, who do we got left? How many are left in the house? What are the numbers?
12. It's 8. It's 9v3 pretty much.
There are 12. There are 12 in the house. If Mark were to win HOH, throw Paul and
he's throwing up Alex 100% now after yesterday.
Yeah. So he throws up Paul and Alex on the block, right? And then nominations were to stay the same. There's no way Jason or Kevin are voting against Alex. They see her as a bigger ally, especially Jason. And Kevin doesn't really like Paul that much anyway. So there's 2 votes. You've got Jessica and Cody are another 2 votes. Is 4 votes enough to send them home? Because it would be 12, 11, 10, 9. They would need 1 more vote. They would need a swing vote. Who could the swing vote be to send Paul home?
What were the ones you said he had that would vote him out?
Kevin, Jason, Jessica, and Cody. And then
Elena. I think at that point, I think
Elena would be the swing vote, right? Because Josh will vote to keep Paul. Matt and Raven will vote to keep Paul. Christmas will vote to keep Paul. So Elena would then be the swing vote, and Elena could be the one to send Paul home next week.
If she did that, she'd actually be playing the game, and that'd be huge. Huge.
God, that'd be so good.
I'd get behind her then. Whoever makes that move, I'm getting behind. I'm telling you.
Oh, man, I really want that now. I mean, so if Mark, Jessica, or Cody win, that would be the smartest decision. Put up Paul and Alex.
And I think that's the plan. And they could go petty and do Josh and Raven now. But
God, man, how do you feel about the game being in Elena's hands next week?
If it did. Think about Elena. She's not going to win HOH because she doesn't want to. She knows she's not the prime one.
Oh, yeah. Someone said there could be 3 nominees. If there is, that's true.
Oh yeah, Paul will play that comp and win it. So we got to take that in.
God,
And then, honestly, no. If Mark, Jess, or Cody win that side, or win HOH, they will not play that comp. They don't want to even test that. They'll be like, all right, go ahead.
Yeah, because then there's going to be a third nominee no matter what. So a third nominee comes up, that's actually kind of better. If that third nominee is Elena, Matt, Raven, those people that we said would have been a vote.
Oh, they vote Elena out. Shit, she can't play that.
But then there's a possibility of a tie. Then you could have a 4-4 vote, and then you could break the tie and send Paul home.
Dude,
if Mark stood up during the live eviction, Paul, get a step in.
Oh. Everyone would be shook. They wouldn't know what to do.
Shook, all caps, underlined, bold.
Hi, Diana. Welcome. Elena, I think Mark probably not.
Oh, man. Is Elena and Mark really going to do what they said with Jody? Yeah, hopefully.
Mark is with them 1,000%.
Yeah, Mark is definitely with them. Elena wants to be with them, but she's getting strong-armed by Paul, and hopefully she smartens up. Christmas could swing. I agree. With the sympathy votes, she was one of the people that realized how bad Paul was being yesterday. And you got to think, as far as people, if they end up in a moral dilemma, who's the actual just better human being in the house, Paul or Alex?
Yeah.
Definitely Paul. Or is that
honestly, I feel like if Jessica, because Jessica and Cody and Mark and Elena, they all know Paul is controlling that side. Elena knows, but I don't even know if she cares. She's kind of, eh.
There doesn't appear to be a single girl in there that isn't brainwashed by Paul, other than Jessica.
Yeah, other than Jessica, I'd say, yeah. True. I'm disappointed in Alex, man.
I will bring the champagne when Paul hits the block on me, guys. Dude, Charlie, should I do that? Dude, next week, what are you doing next Thursday, bro? That's my first day of teaching.
Damn. That's right.
Come over and pop the champagne. We'll celebrate first day of school and Paul going home.
Paul going home? Dude, we go nuts. We're just completely plastered.
Tweet it out right now. Hashtag Paul going home party. Retweet.
Oh, Kat makes a good point here about the Temptation comp. Paul will tell everyone, don't play it, and I'll play it, win, and take myself off the block.
Oh, my God.
Do you think they would? Genuinely. Do you think, like, Matt and Raven, Alex, Jason, and Kevin,
dude,
and
what
Josh?
If they had a competition? What if, like, Cody caught wind of it, and it was just Cody and Paul in the competition? Winner is safe, loser on the block.
Oh.
That would be nuts. Hashtag Paul going home party. What would that be? 8, 10, 17.
I'd rather lose. The thing about Paul is, do I dislike him? Yes. But I kind of want to be here for maybe another week or two. But let's see. I agree. Alex is such a disappointment. Man, I'm telling you guys, she showed so much promise in those first 2 weeks. And then Paul came to her like he has with 4 other people, you and me, final 2, and she believes it full swing.
Jasmine says I think they'd throw it to Paul. Yeah, but okay. I don't know. I would hope they're smart enough. You know what? Matt is stupid enough to go up there and throw a comp in which he's automatically on the block when, like, Mark or Cody or Jessica or HOH. He's stupid enough to do it, right?
I'm a team player.
I'm a team player, man.
All I do is eat cereal and wear my stupid orange shirt. By the way, Texas. No, I'm just kidding.
He had three diary room sessions on Sunday's episode.
Dude, he might earn himself another one by sticking up and saying maybe this isn't a good idea, which will paint Paul in even more of a bad light, which is just kind of fucked. Paul is 0-2 against Cody. Dude, another thing. Paul likes to say Cody can't win Cobbs. Cody literally beat him to get in the house one-on-one. Didn't he?
No, bro. Unfair advantage. Cody had done it before. It's rigged. Griner rigs it.
Yeah. My God.
Even though the competition was a damn puzzle, so don't you think Cameron would have had a better shot at it?
Yeah. Crawford.
He definitely playing a good game. Don't get me wrong, but I still dislike him. Yeah. Hey, Alex, how's that friendship now?
There's Flamer with another good one. It's every day, bro, with the team player flow. I can definitely see why. If you like Paul, I can see why. And we don't hate him as a game player. He's playing a good game. When you have people manipulated like this, there is no way you're not playing a good game.
Okay.
I just don't like the game he's playing.
So let's ask if Paul can't win HOH, which is great. Paul can't play in the HOH competition because of the hex.
And he's the strongest competitor on that side.
It's probably going to be physical because the last one was mental, so Christmas can't play in it. So no Paul, no Christmas, if I had to guess. That leaves, and we've already had enough endurance comps, right?
Yeah, they've been studying days, so watch it be that.
Okay.
I would like something with like a ball, like chance almost.
God, yeah. That's right. They haven't done that one yet, where they just kind of chuck a ball in the middle of a thing and it hit whoever gets the highest number wins.
One of those chance competitions. I haven't really done that.
That's true. So Christmas could play in that one. That would suck though. I hope it's something skill wise that way, because I mean, Cody and Jess and Mark would be like 3 of the favorites.
Melissa she says you all need to remember strongest Paul. Well, Paul is strong in the social game. Even if he's on the block, he'll get someone else to blow up and stay. Very possible, unless he's up against someone he's very close with, like Alex.
Right.
He's gonna have a hard time. I really think that's the only way to send Paul home.
Because Jason and Kevin for sure would not vote Alex out.
There's no way.
And then we also know
Mark and Cody.
That Mark and Cody and Jessica, any combination of the two would want to vote Paul home. So it's not that Kevin and Jason would want to send Paul home. It's that in their mind they're picking lesser of 2 evils, and it would be sending Paul home. So that's automatically 4 votes. If there's a third person on the block and the vote is split 4-4, if it's Mark, Cody, or Jessica as the HOH, Paul's going home.
Yeah, we got some stuff to look forward to Thursday, but
yeah, it was a nice long episode, almost an hour, Charlie.
Yeah, we'll be back tomorrow after the episode.
I think Kevin and Jason have been throwing HOH comps. Maybe I would LMAO if Kevin or Jason wins the whole thing. Jason's got a decent shot.
Yeah, so does Kevin.
Yeah, actually, yeah, they both do. Paul and Cody already the greatest rivalry in BB history. I don't know about that.
It is a fun rivalry. It'll be if Cody sends Paul home after all of this, when it's all said and done, that'd be hilarious.
After Paul already sent him home.
Yeah.
Especially if it was late in the game, like if it was like a, I don't know, like a Final Four or something, and yeah, but we will we'll wrap it up there. We got a Big Brother episode, not tonight, but tomorrow night. Check us out with the if you've never watched wrestling before, go check out SmackDown USA Network on at 7 Central tonight. It's on for 2 hours, not too bad. Watch it alongside feeds like Charlie does, and
we talk about it tomorrow.
We will see you guys back at the latest on Thursday after the live episode. I believe we have another guest lined up, but if not, it'll just be us. I'm sure you guys won't mind. So we appreciate all you guys being in chat. We've had literally like a solid 45 and over watching all the time. We got more people hopping in, hopefully watching on delay. We appreciate you guys just as much. And hashtag Paul going home party.
Yeah, definitely.
Next week. Let's hope, man. Fingers crossed. But make sure you guys like, subscribe, click the little bell so you know when we go live. And catch you guys next time.